Hey guys, Michael J. Crawford here, and welcome to part 3 of my Daredevil Born Again musical extravaganza. And today we're going to be talking about the third episode in the series, The Hollow of His Hand. Now, in the spoiler-free section of this review, I can't really tell you why it's called that, but I will simply say that there is a good reason for it at the end of this episode. This episode is essentially a trial episode. So in the last 2 episodes, we kind of built up, in the first one, we kind of set up some of the circumstances about New York. In the second one, we see White Tiger being accosted by a police officer after he tries to intervene in what he thought was a crime in progress. And now we're going to get the trial of Hector, the White Tiger. And as far as trial episodes of Daredevil go, this is a pretty good one. It's a nice, solid case. Now, that is not to say that it is absolutely flawless, because it suffers, as almost every courtroom drama does, of glaring inaccuracies. Now, most of which fly right over the heads of us lay people because we're not attorneys or judges or anything like that. But one thing that still bothers me to this day is anytime you watch a courtroom drama, and by the way, you should watch a real court case every once in a while, like on Court TV or something, so you can see how it really works. For example, let's suppose that you have an overzealous counsel who is attempting to ask a question that is leading the witness. So, for example, leading the witness is if an attorney asks a question that presupposes the answer to the question in that question. So if I say something like, "Isn't it true that you did X, Y, and Z?" that would be leading the witness, because the witness isn't being asked what they did, they're being asked to confirm my story of what they did. So if I spot such activity, my job as the opposing counsel would be to raise an objection and to state to the judge exactly why I am objecting.
He just takes Kyle and he just pushes him in front of the train. Like it was nothing.
Like it was nothing. Objection, leading.
Sustained.
So in that particular case, Matt Murdock was objecting using the leading objection because of the fact that the attorney was basically getting him to reiterate that he did it like it was nothing. I don't know how solid an objection that really was, because the witness already testified like it was nothing, and the attorney was actually agreeing with the testimony. However, at least the objection was posed properly. But then we get this kind of thing.
You know, there's this thing they say in boxing, the best cure for a black eye is fast hands.
Objection.
Sustained. Come on, Mr. Murdock.
So in this particular case, and keeping in mind, I am a lay person when it comes to the law, I do not know all the ins and outs of how a courtroom works. And I don't know, it seems like Mr. Murdock was just trying to set up for his first question by talking about, in boxing, they say this, and then he could turn around and say, "So what would you say to," and throw something out there. Now, I don't know if that's considered legitimate or not, and if you would object, under what grounds you would object. That being said, the other counsel doesn't even bother to give a reason for the objection. He just says, "Objection," and the judge actually sustains the objection without cause, which makes no sense to me whatsoever from the few trials that I've watched. It seems like if you just say, "I object," without a reason, the judge is going to then say, "Why do you object? I've seen this happen." So that makes zero sense to me.
Okay, so you're alone. No buskers or passengers, which means there certainly wasn't a confidential informant you were roughing up.
Objection.
You better have a good faith basis for this, Mr. Murdock.
I do, Your Honor.
Now here, once again, we have no reason for the objection given, and the judge doesn't sustain the objection. He only asks if Murdock has a good faith reason for his line of questioning, which again Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, isn't he leading the witness? And kind of he is, just like he is here.
Officer Powell, did you and Officer Shanahan have an arranged meeting with Nikki Torres on the platform that night?
I told you I don't know him.
So yes, this is clearly an example of Matt Murdock leading the witness with this question. However, this is actually an example of what they got right, because leading the witness is in fact permissible during cross-examination, just not during direct examination, which is what we were seeing earlier when Murdock objected due to leading the witness. However, this trial is full of objections without substantiation, which drive me absolutely nuts whenever I watch a courtroom drama. All that being said, this is a darn good episode. It's a fun trial, and it ends with a literal bang that if you're not excited about the next episode after you see the last shot of this episode, nothing on this earth will get you interested in this show.
Matt and Hector prepare for Hector's trial. Hector thinks about frogs for a while. Vanessa sits down with a nice breakfast with Fisk. But her criminal activities have Fisk really pissed. The trial gets started, all the cops are in court. Matt's case is really weak. It looks like he will come up very short. Daredevil born again. White Tiger is put on trial. I cannot wait to see when Punisher shows up in a little while. Fisk and Vanessa go back to therapy. They are not in a lot of this episode, so we will have to wait and see. With some very clever misdirection, they get the witness to the trial. But the cops scare him, he freaks out and chooses to go with denial. Daredevil born again. White Tiger is put on trial. I cannot wait to see when Punisher shows up in a little while. The case is lost, Matt's hopes have sank, and he feels a very deep fury. So in a desperate last ditch beat, he's Hector's White Tiger to the jury. He brings on witness after witness to show White Tiger is a hero. The jury comes back with a conviction rate of 0. Later that night, Hector dons his mask to fight some crime before he goes to bed. When out of the shadows, a man in black shoots him in the head. Holy crap! That was Punisher! Daredevil born again. White Tiger is put on trial. I cannot wait to see when Punisher shows up in a little while. Daredevil born again. You see Punisher now is on. I cannot wait to see. But for now, thanks to all my friends on Patreon. Herman, Schmickelbeck, Jason, Roger, Sean, Chloe, Twinkle, Peaches, Lady, Cresme, Lee, Cresme, Laura Finney, Thomas Potts, 47, Yorktown, Roll, Happy G.I. Dice, 5 for a tail, Indie Tiger, Captain Phantom, Murder.